Well, this is the This Month in Prophecy talk. It's February the 26th, speaking here at the Bridge Christian Fellowship in Golders Green. Not far away from here in Highgate, there is a famous cemetery, and a famous man's buried there. His name's Karl Marx. And on his tomb it says, "The philosophers have only interpreted the world. The point, however, is to change it." Probably no one has changed the world quite as much as the Chinese person who ate a diseased bat or pangolin over a year ago in Wuhan, China, either off the Wuhan wet market or a virus that was released from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, depending on who you believe. I think possibly the latter was the case, but we won't get into that at the moment. This person contracted the novel virus, coronavirus, COVID-19, which has spread around the world, shutting down society from east to west, from developed countries to developing countries, from rich countries to poor countries, and has resulted in the changes which we've all painfully aware of, probably the greatest changes which have happened to the world since World War II. Question is, where will it end? Will it end in some kind of totalitarian political system like Marx and Marxism led to, like the Soviet Union, communist China? Will it be not communist or fascist, but some kind of techno-tyranny, which we're controlled by computers, algorithms, health passes, and a new form of world government? When you look at what's happening, that is all quite possible. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 30, there's a word from the Lord which speaks to the people living in the end times. It says, "Therefore prophesy against them all these words and say to them, the Lord will roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He will roar mightily against his fold. He will give a shout as those who tread the grapes against the inhabitants of the earth. A noise will come to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has a controversy with the nations. He will plead his case with all flesh. He will give those who are wicked to the sword, says the Lord. Thus says the Lord, behold, disaster shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind will be raised up from the farthest parts of the earth. And at that time the slain of the Lord shall be from one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented or gathered or buried. They shall become refuse on the ground. Disaster shall go forth from nation to nation. Tempest will stir up from the ends of the earth." You could say that China's the ends of the earth, and from that country has gone a disaster, the coronavirus, from nation to nation, and has caused a great whirlwind to be raised up, even which we're experiencing now. In the book of Revelation, chapter 6, we have the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It says, "Then I saw, when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, 'Come and see.' And I looked, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer." That, I believe, actually is speaking about the Antichrist rising up and conquering the nations in the beginning of the Great Tribulation period. Second seal, the conflict on the earth. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." Another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, and the people should kill one another. There was given to him a great sword. Third seal is scarcity on the earth. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature saying, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." Denarius is roughly a day's wages in the Roman Empire. So what he's saying there is that a day's wages, we could say roughly £50 if you like, or more, depending on what you earn. But that is what will get you a very small amount of money at this time, a very small amount of food at this time. So people will be suffering from some kind of hardship because of lack of food. And the fourth seal, widespread death on the earth. When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed after him. And power was given over them, over a fourth of the earth, to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth. Two passages about conditions in the last days, in the time of the Great Tribulation, before the second coming of Jesus. Clear that we're not there yet, but are we on the way there? Are we heading there? And are things which are happening now preparing the way for that time to come. I believe that they are. I believe we're seeing things happening now which are pushing the world in that direction.